Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me, Dr. Scarlett Smash, on my podcast, Dancing in Pink Hiking Boots. We are here on this glorious day to talk about our thoughts, feelings, ideas on different life topics, and the emotions we feel as we go through life. I believe in the power of sharing for inner peace. We all need friends, support groups, and a community. We need help in how to be mindful of our thoughts and feelings. I am not a licensed therapist. I'm a marine conservation outreach scientist that has a lot of opinions, experiences, and has been on a lifetime journey to find a peaceful mind and happiness. I believe in the power of thought, deep reflection, and vulnerability. I will share my thoughts, feelings, experiences, and my soul-searching journeys with you. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about the imposter syndrome. And I have Stephanie Schüttler here with me as a guest. She's our fancy scientist. Her company is Fancy Scientist. And she basically is going to be, I swear, you're going to be the head of it. We're going to be coming to you. You're going to be the expert. You're going to control all of this. And this is going to be fantastic. But you're going to be a great career advising program. And it's going to be established this year of some sort, right?
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm actually forming my first beta group to help people more with the technical part of figuring out what they want to do in this career. But I actually have thought about doing just some strict like mindset, stress reduction, or grad school survival.
Yeah, well,
Classes.
you're fantastic.
Thank you.
You'd be fantastic at doing it. And this topic is perfect for something that you will be discussing with your students or upcoming scientists that will be taking your courses, workshops, or joining your program, because we all, or a majority of us, deal with imposter syndrome. And this imposter syndrome is like, oh no, I'm phony. I'm worthless. I definitely shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be a grad student. I shouldn't be a scientist. I shouldn't be this. I shouldn't be that. You can have it in many different forms. I mean, it could be motherhood.
Yeah, they made a mistake. That's another one. I'm not supposed to be in this program. They made a mistake. I used to always tell myself I'm not good enough.
Oh,
I'm not like comparing myself to people. I felt like I was never good enough.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. And it's interesting, but we're talking about 70% of United States, when they did a study, right, has come across this feeling at one point in their lives, which again, the imposter syndrome kind of overlooks anxiety, the anxiety of perfectionism, self-doubt, fear of failing. So there's just so much involved, the emotion behind imposter syndrome. And everyone has it. We mentioned in our last episode that everyone, even the best of the best or very successful people, have this self-doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a talk on imposter syndrome, and I researched for some quotes, and I found quotes from celebrities that have it, like Oscar. I think it was Jodie Foster. Like weeks after she got the Oscar, when she was doing the interview, she says she still has this fear that they would show up and take her Oscar away from her. And I know Oprah said in one interview too that every person she interviews, like no matter who they are, at the commercial break, they would always be like, how did I do? Like everyone's always looking for that reassurance that they're good enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hard thing to deal with, in addition to everything that you're going to be dealing with in school if you are in graduate school, right? This is just going to be even harder for you. So did you deal with imposter syndrome while you were in school? Because I did.
Yes, with a capital Y, yes. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about helping people now, because I suffered so much from it.
Yeah.
And I really feel like I cheated myself out of my experience,
Right?
at least living it to as fully as I could have. And I think the way it influenced me the most is that I was really afraid to ask for help. Like in classes, I was afraid to admit I didn't know something or have a question. Like I remember my first wildlife statistics course, and the professor was like, everyone here knows what linear regression is, right? And I didn't know, but I didn't say anything. Like even privately, I didn't go up to him afterward and be like, I actually don't know, can you give me some resources to help me with this?
Yeah. Well, you
And
wouldn't I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, and you're there to learn. And I mean, that's what school's all about. You're not supposed to know the
Yeah.
answers. You're figuring it out.
So let me tell you something. I have a reoccurring dream, and I must have it like maybe every 3 months when I'm under a lot of stress, like just generally, and I have a lot of things to do. I'll have like little nightmares. And this reoccurring dream is me not finishing or finding out that I forgot a class.
Oh my
And
God, me too. I
and
have the same
I
dream.
I failed that class and I never got my degree. I couldn't get my degree. Can you believe that? After 5 years, and I still like I'll have to wake up sometimes and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Nope.
Yeah, I have
That's a
that
dream."
same one too. And sometimes it's classes that like sometimes I have it about gym class.
Gym
Like I
class.
did and I didn't even take gym class in college. Like, some schools you have to. But yeah, no, I have the same thing where or I'm failing a class or like
Yes.
I also have one where I'm TAing a class and I didn't know about it and I forgot to show up to all of the
Oh,
laboratories.
what stress. And I it's amazing, but that's part of it. That's
Yeah.
part of it. It's almost like you still don't internalize what you deserve and the credit that you deserve. It's so hard to accept what you've become and say, I am who I am. And you can kind of suppress it with this humbleness. And that's what everyone says a lot with me is like they say, I've known you for like 2 years and I didn't even know you had a PhD. You don't wear it on your sleeve. Well, I'm kind of still working with this imposter syndrome, right? That I don't want to tell everyone. I start wondering, well, am I uh, the perfect PhD? But
Right.
but this is the thing. Again, it gets back to this perfection. And where does this perfection idea come from? Well, I mean, look at how scientists are portrayed. Geniuses calculating numbers nonstop in their head, coming up with experiments and, resurrecting the dead. I mean, think about all these scientists that we have been looking at on TV and in movies as we were growing up. So, of course, we're sweating when we think about being scientists ourselves because we're like, oh, well, they're perfect. They know everything. They act smart. They don't make any mistakes. I have to be the same. Oh, but I know I'm not the same. Please don't look at me. Oh my gosh, someone's going to reveal and say I'm not a scientist.
Right. And I think we get that a lot from as undergrads from our professors and in graduate students from our advisors too.